Well, Marianne and I, my wife of back then, 30-some years, we're approaching 50. I was working at Ketchum Communications, which was one of the big ad agencies in the country, with offices around the country. So she was essentially a community organizer and working on all these different programs to save the log cabin, etc. And I was working as CFO at Ketchum. So one of the tasks given to me was to look for some space. We were had a lease coming up at Gateway 4, one of the early Gateway renovations, and we were looking for something and getting pressured from the president of one of our good clients, which was PPG Paints. So Ketchum had purchased an old seed warehouse out in San Francisco in kind of a rundown area, and renovated it and put our offices in there, and it was a great success. And the whole area grew up around us and became the Embarcadero area. And that's where Levi Strauss is and so on. So tremendous success. And I said to the other members of the executive committee, why don't we think about getting an old building in Pittsburgh? And we don't need to put our advertising and PR people. They need the glitzy space, but when we want to put the computers in, have our accounting department, some other things, let's do that in an old building that we rehab. So we started looking with a realtor, and there were a lot of old warehouses around Pittsburgh. And one of them they showed us, so it was not a warehouse, it was a whole set of buildings that had been the Catholic Church's Priory, Benedictine Priory since 1888. And even older was the church, St. Mary's Church, 1854. They're right across the river from downtown. Beautiful buildings, red brick with that old German construction, which I absolutely love. And Marianne did too. Even though she wasn't German, she was a Catholic. So I proposed it to the executive committee, and it got voted down. Probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because when you hear about the troubles of trying to get this thing rehabbed and approved, I probably would have lost my job, because we would have no place for that computer when it came time. So we backed off. They had PennDOT, who had purchased it for I-279 going up to the north. And PennDOT was going to run an auction, which they did. It went through. It was purchased by a radio personality, Jack Bogut, who was a big KDK. That was the kind of leading station in the city, and he was the leading morning man. So he and a few of his buddies bought it, and I put it out of my mind. And somebody from the north side called us and said, hey, do you know about that church building? It didn't go through, and now it's back in the hands of PennDOT, and we think they're going to tear it down. To Marianne, why don't we come down and take a look at this place? It's not so lovely when we went to see it. When we walked in, they were parking cars in this courtyard, and it was muddy, but you could see it had possibilities of looking just great. So I think she said first, maybe we ought to look at buying this thing. And come back 2 weeks later, get off the airplane, and here's Marianne sitting down there waiting for me, which is extremely unusual, because I always took a cab and didn't bother her. And the first thing she said to me was, well, we just bought a church. What the hell are we going to do with this? Sure enough, we closed on the thing and started to consider what do we do, and one of her friends said, you ought to make that Priory a bed and breakfast. And bed and breakfasts were kind of big at that time, and it was becoming popular all around the country. That seemed like the most reasonable thing and the best use for the place.